Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. It's free and it will ensure you won't miss any future videos. In this video, I'm going to show how I paint a largemouth bass. This is a part 2 in a series. It's my wife's personal best. I've come out of retirement to do it. I start with an antiquing process. I use 5 parts sailfish blue to 2 parts rich brown. That gives you a very nice charcoal color. This is the only lacquer paint I use in doing this fish. Everything else I do in acrylics. With just a cheap airbrush, I black out the whole fish. And we are done with that step. Just one advantage of using lacquer paints: by the time I clean out my airbrush, this fish is all ready to go. I take a 4/0 steel wool and go over the entire fish now. This brings out the scale details, the fin rays, and it brings it to look a lot like a skin mount would look, which is how I got my start in taxidermy some 50 years ago now. The next step is going to be darkening the back some with the same color I used to antique the fish. Then we spray white on the belly, lighten it up a little bit. Being careful not to add too much paint so you lose your scale detail. And that looks pretty good. Next step is going over the back with a gold pearl. It's a moderate coat, and I usually bring it about halfway down the sides. Makes for a nice base coat. Stay away from the fins. The next step is a white pearl I put on the belly and about halfway up the sides. Again, staying away from the fins, just on the body and inside the mouth. Now we're done with the base coat. Just about every species of fish I do, I start the same way. Next, I'm going to start adding some color. We're going to start with Candy Bright Yellow. It's a transparent color, and I'm putting it on with my detail airbrush so it doesn't go on quite as thick. This time I hit the fins as well. I'm masking off the body so I don't get paint where I don't want it. And that should do it for that color. Next I go over the back of the fish with a moderate coat of sparkling gold pearl. Now when that's dry, I like to go over it with a coat of clear lacquer. This seals it in, otherwise those candy colors will bleed through. Next I'm going to detail a little white. I'm going to blend this in a little bit better. The base of the fins, the trailing edge, around the eye, and just anywhere else my reference shows that it should be. Okay, that's looking pretty good. A nice smooth transition from the white to the yellow on the belly. I'd say we're all ready to start detailing this fish. All the colors I use from this point forward vary greatly from fish to fish, so I strongly urge you to use good reference material. I'm going to start detailing the fin rays. Very important to keep your paints thin properly so they flow nice. And just sort of blend that in. Next I'm going to darken up the trailing edges of the fin some. Now I'm going to tip the scales on the lower portion as the reference picture shows. I'm going to start painting a few of the scales yellow because that's what my reference shows. And then I'll come back with a dark green, almost black. Well, that's in the ballpark of what my reference showed on this particular fish. Next we'll come in with a dark green and do the same thing sporadically. We'll start with the darker colors. Very light on the belly and increasing intensity as you get up towards the lateral line. That doesn't look too bad. Next we're going to start detailing the lateral line. I'm going to start putting the markings on thin and come back over it, detailing the individual scales. Again, according to your reference. Now we're in the ballpark, we just check our reference. Then I go over it once again, just highlighting some of the scales, make it pop a little bit. This video has turned out to become rather lengthy, so instead of editing out any information, I've decided to split this into 2 separate videos. Stay tuned for part 2. And if you like what you see and would like to see future videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.